I hate Kaltura. Hi, everybody. This is Jennifer Darling. I'm talking to you today about corporate social responsibility. The assignment is to craft a personal statement discussing the values, dispositions, and behaviors of global leadership, and to illustrate the way it intersects with organizational citizenship and corporate social responsibility. I think that the Mendenhall book does an admirable job of outlining the approaches to corporate social responsibility, specifically on page 378 at the bottom in table 12.1. Among these approaches, I find three especially compelling. Ethical understanding of universal ethical standards, integrity and behavioral consistency, and adaptability and behavioral flexibility. An understanding of universal ethical standards speaks to the organization's desire to be a part of a global infrastructure, to be a global citizen. Integrity and behavioral consistency speaks to an individual identity of that corporation, an understanding of who they are and how they choose to show up in the world. And adaptability and behavioral flexibility, to me, means the ability to learn from the mistakes and to grow. When I think of growth, adaptability, and behavioral flexibility, I think of the cancel culture that we live in right now. I think of our desire to eliminate that which does not serve us, to omit memories, and to tear down monuments, to change language to suit who we believe ourselves to be now or who we hope to be. I think this is a mistake. We need to learn lessons from our past. And by eliminating our long-term memory, we condemn ourselves to relive those mistakes. The best example I have is not an individual organization, it's actually an entire industry. It's the pharmaceuticals industry. Pharmaceutical companies are most commonly funded with public funds, grants, endowments, governmental agencies funneling money for the purpose of finding a cure or a condition improving solution. When the pharmaceutical companies accept these missions, they do spend their own money. They exert a lot of capital and effort, and they research and find the cure. The moment that they do that, they patent it, and it is their intellectual property. And this is fair. They should recoup what they put into it. The patent will last about 7 years, and during that time, the pharmaceutical company is the only place that can manufacture and sell that cure. During that time, they often engage in a great deal of branding and rebranding, researching and re-researching, and constant improvement of the pill that allows them to repatent it and therefore extend their exclusive patent. This is problematic for a lot of reasons, but mostly it prevents fair trade and it allows them to price gouge. They also have unlimited funds in lobbying and can exert pressure on governments to sign treaties that prohibit other manufacturers, other countries from making the same medication. The best example I can give is of the HIV crisis in South Africa in the late 1990s. At that time, the South African nations were facing unprecedented numbers of people dying from AIDS and HIV. And they had signed a treaty that prevented them from infringing on intellectual rights. Specifically, they had to honor the intellectual rights of the pharmaceutical companies as if they were US nations. But the dollar isn't the same in a US nation as it is in the South African nations. Meanwhile, the pharmaceutical companies were manufacturing the medications at $1 a pill in India and selling it to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars every year for individuals in South Africa. The South African nations tried to circumvent the treaty that they signed, but 39 countries were up at arms and accused them of piracy, and they had no choice but to step back from it. I think this is appalling, and it does not show an understanding of universal ethical standards. The integrity and behavioral consistency of the pharmaceutical company is woefully suspect. And I think it's pretty apparent that they haven't adapted or demonstrated flexible behavior. They haven't grown and they haven't learned, because we are now existing in a epidemic, the opioid epidemic that was caused by the pharmaceutical companies when they patented their medications and sold them exclusively and lied and said that they were not addictive.